I always hated the mirror in the hallway. It was old, one of those massive antique things with an ornate gold frame that my grandmother swore was a family heirloom. I never liked it. Something about it felt off, like the glass was a little too dark, like it reflected the world a fraction of a second too late. I used to tell myself it was just my imagination, just a trick of the light. That was before the night my reflection stopped following me. It started out as an ordinary evening. I got home late from work, kicked off my shoes, and trudged toward the kitchen for a drink. As I passed the hallway mirror, I barely glanced at it. Just a habit, see my reflection, keep walking. But something made me stop. A tiny involuntary shiver ran down my spine. I turned my head back toward the mirror, expecting to see my own confused face staring back at me. But there was nothing. Just an empty hallway. I blinked. My heart pounded in my chest, hard enough that I could hear it in my ears. Then I saw it. A figure. My figure, further down the hall, still walking. For a moment, I thought my brain was playing tricks on me. Maybe I was seeing an afterimage, some weird optical illusion. But then my reflection, if that's even what it was, stopped. Its shoulders stiffened, like it had just realized what happened. And then it turned its head. Not all the way, just enough that I could see its profile, the sharp edge of my own jawline, the familiar shape of my nose. But there was something wrong with it. Its skin looked dull, almost grey, like the color had been drained out. Then it moved, not back toward me, not toward the mirror, but away, down the hall, out of sight. I stumbled backward, my breath caught in my throat. My hands were ice cold, my skin buzzing with something between panic and disbelief. That wasn't normal. That wasn't normal. I squeezed my eyes shut, took a deep breath, and told myself to stop freaking out. Maybe I was just exhausted. Maybe I imagined the whole thing. When I opened my eyes again, my reflection was back in the mirror, right where it was supposed to be, staring at me, smiling. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw it, my own reflection, walking away from me like it had somewhere to be, like it had a purpose that didn't involve me. And then that smile, that eerie, unnatural grin that stayed frozen on its face. I wanted to believe it was just my mind playing tricks. I really did. But when I woke up the next morning, after dozing off for maybe an hour, I felt it deep in my gut. Something was wrong. The house was silent, but not in a peaceful way. More like the air had thickened, like the walls were listening. I showered, got dressed, and deliberately avoided the mirror in the hallway. I wasn't ready to look. I kept my eyes forward as I grabbed my keys and headed for the door. But as I reached for the knob, I caught movement out of the corner of my eye. My breath hitched. I turned my head, heart thudding. The mirror was empty. No reflection. The hallway was there, my shoes, the framed pictures on the wall. But I wasn't. My reflection was just gone. I stepped closer, reaching out as if I could somehow pull my reflection back. And then footsteps. Behind me. I spun around, heart hammering. Nothing. Just the empty hallway. Then, from the mirror, I heard it, my own voice. A whisper. Low, distorted. Let me in. I staggered back so hard I hit the opposite wall. My hands were clammy, my legs trembling. Nope. No way. I wasn't doing this. I grabbed my bag and bolted out of the house. N-T or do you see vain? CHARSTTR number 2. I didn't tell anyone what happened. Who would believe me? Hey, my reflection went on a walk last night, and now it's talking to me from the mirror. That's how you end up in a psych ward. But as the day went on, the paranoia got worse. Every time I passed a reflective surface, windows, car mirrors, even the damn screen on my phone, I hesitated. My reflection was there now, moving like it was supposed to, but I couldn't shake the feeling that it was watching me, not just mirroring me watching. By lunchtime, I was ready to lose my mind. That's when I called Lucas. Lucas had been my best friend since college. He was the kind of guy who always had a logical explanation for everything. If anyone could talk me out of this nightmare, it was him. We met at a small diner, and the second I sat down, he could tell something was off. "Jude, you look like you haven't slept in a week," he said, pushing a plate of fries toward me. "What's up?" I hesitated. Even with Lucas, saying it out loud felt wrong. But I needed to tell someone. So I did. The whole thing. The mirror, my reflection walking away. The whisper. Lucas listened, eyebrows furrowed, arms crossed. When I finished, he leaned back and let out a slow breath. "Okay," he said. "That's messed up." "Yeah, no kidding." "You sure you weren't half asleep when you saw it?" "Lucas." My voice was dead serious. I heard it. It spoke to me. That seemed to shake him a little. He scratched his chin, glancing at the reflective napkin dispenser on the table. "You think it's still there? Like in the mirror?" I swallowed hard. "I don't know." "Well," Lucas said, standing up, "then let's go find out." Beatty key to the house. The last thing I wanted to do was go back. But Lucas insisted. "If it's just your mind messing with you," he reasoned, "then proving it wrong is the best way to move on." I didn't argue, partly because I wanted to believe he was right. We got back to my place just before sunset. The house felt colder than usual, like someone had left a window open. I checked. Everything was shut, locked. Lucas walked straight to the hallway mirror. "Damn," he muttered. "This thing is creepy." He tapped the glass with his knuckle. Nothing happened. Then he looked at me. "All right, let's see." I hesitated, then stepped beside him. For a moment, everything looked normal. Both of our reflections stood there staring back. But then, something moved. Not me, not Lucas. My reflection. It took a half step forward. Then it grinned. Lucas cursed and jumped back. My reflection didn't move like a normal reflection. It was delayed, lagging behind like bad video playback. And that smile, it was too wide, too sharp. Then, in a single jerky motion, it lifted a hand and pressed it against the glass. A slow, deliberate tap. 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 Lucas grabbed my arm. "Jude, what the hell?" Then the lights flickered, and the tapping turned into knocking. Harder, faster, more desperate. Something was trying to get out. Then, all at once, the mirror cracked. A single jagged split ran from the top to the bottom, right between my reflection's eyes. The knocking stopped. Everything went silent. Lucas and I stood there frozen, staring at the fracture in the glass. Then, from the other side, "You can't ignore me forever." I grabbed Lucas's wrist and ran. I don't remember much about running out of the house, just that I didn't stop. Not until we were in Lucas's car, tearing down the street like we were being chased. Because, honestly, it felt like we were. Lucas didn't say a word as he drove. His hands were tight on the wheel, his knuckles white. He wasn't a guy who's scared easy, but the look on his face told me everything. He'd seen it too. The thing in the mirror. The other me. We pulled into a gas station parking lot a few miles away. Lucas threw the car in park and turned to me. "Okay," he said, his voice strained. "What the hell was that?" I stared straight ahead, my heart still hammering. "I told you." Lucas ran a hand through his hair. No, man, you don't get it. That wasn't a trick of the light. That wasn't sleep deprivation. That was real. Your reflection freaking moved on its own. And it spoke. I didn't respond. I couldn't. Because he was right. And the worst part, it wasn't over. Hinity or line CHARACTER number 3. We sat in silence for a while. My brain kept looping through the events of the past 24 hours. The whisper, the tapping, the crack in the mirror. I didn't know what to do. But then Lucas grabbed his phone. I know someone, he said. I frowned. Someone. A friend. She's into weird stuff. Paranormal, occult, all that. Maybe she can help. I stared at him. You have a paranormal expert on speed dial. Lucas gave a half shrug. She's not an expert. More like obsessed. But she knows things. I hesitated. It sounded ridiculous. But after everything that had happened, I wasn't about to be picky. Fine, I muttered. Call her. Lucas put his phone on speaker. The call rang twice before a voice answered. Lucas? This better be good. Hey Jess, Lucas said, glancing at me. I got something really up your alley. You home? A pause. Then, yeah, bring me coffee. Lucas rolled his eyes and hung up. She's in, he said. GESS and TKE rules. Jess lived in a tiny apartment filled with books, candles, and at least 3 black cats. She was wearing an oversized hoodie with a skull on it, and her hair was half dyed, half a tangled mess. She took one look at me and said, "You look like hell." Thanks, I muttered. Lucas handed her the coffee. She took a sip, then plopped down on her couch and motioned for us to sit. So, she said, tell me everything. I told her. The mirror, the reflection, the whisper, the knocking. By the time I finished, Jess was staring at me like I'd just told her I was possessed. When she finally spoke, her voice was quiet. Okay, she said, you have a problem. No kidding, Lucas muttered. Jess ignored him. It's not just a haunted mirror, it's you, or whatever's pretending to be you. My stomach turned. Pretending. Jess nodded. Some mirrors don't just reflect. Some take. They watch. They learn. And if something watches long enough, sometimes it figures out how to step through. A cold chill ran through me. Lucas frowned. So what? This thing wants out. Jess took another sip of coffee. No, it's already out. Silence. Then I whispered, then what does it want? Jess met my eyes. To replace you. Final warning. Jess started throwing out terms like doppelganger, mirror parasite, and reflection inversion. None of them sounded good. So how do we stop it? I asked. Jess chewed her lip. If it's already free, then breaking the mirror won't help. You need to find out what it wants before it takes it. Before it takes it, Lucas repeated. Takes what? Jess hesitated. Then she looked at me. Your life. I felt my blood run cold. Jess leaned forward. Listen to me. If your reflection got out, then you are the intruder now. This thing, it's not just copying you. It's trying to become you. If it succeeds, you'll be the one trapped on the other side. I shook my head. That doesn't make any sense. I'm still here. I'm real. Jess sighed. For now. Then she stood up and grabbed a book off her shelf. I need to do some research, she said. But in the meantime, you need to be careful. How? Jess hesitated. Avoid mirrors. And don't trust anyone who looks like you. They worst on. By the time we left Jess's apartment, my nerves were shot. My reflection wasn't just some creepy glitch. It was alive, and it wanted me gone. Lucas offered to let me crash at his place. I agreed instantly. There was no way in hell I was going back home. But the moment we pulled up to Lucas's apartment building, my stomach dropped. Because there, standing outside the entrance, hands in his pockets, was me. The shocking climax. Lucas hadn't seen him yet. He was still messing with his keys. But I saw it. Myself, standing under the streetlight watching us. And when our eyes met, it smiled. That same slow, knowing grin. I grabbed Lucas's arm, my voice barely a whisper. "Don't move." Lucas frowned. "What?" Then he followed my gaze, and his face went pale. Because now he saw it too. The other me. It cocked its head, like it was amused, like it had been waiting for this moment. Then, in one slow, impossible motion, it lifted a hand and waved. Lucas cursed. "We need to go." I was already moving. We bolted up the stairs, not looking back, not stopping, not breathing, until we were inside Lucas' apartment with the door locked behind us. I pressed my back against the wall, heart pounding. Lucas ran a hand through his hair. "Jude, that was you." I swallowed hard. "No." Lucas met my eyes. Then what was it? A pause. Then from outside, a single, deliberate knock on the door. The knock echoed through the apartment, loud and impossible to ignore. Lucas and I stood frozen, staring at the door. I could hear my heartbeat in my ears, louder than the knocking itself. I wanted to scream, to run, but my body was stuck, locked in place. We both knew it wasn't me at the door. But if it wasn't me, then what the hell was it? The knocking continued, slow and deliberate. Knock, 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 like a twisted game. My reflection, no, whatever that thing was outside waiting. I could hear Lucas breathing heavily beside me, his voice just a whisper. "What the hell do we do now?" "I don't know," I replied, my throat dry. "We're out of options." I turned my gaze toward the window. The street light outside flickered, casting long shadows across the floor. I thought about running again, just running as far away as I could. But I couldn't shake the feeling that no matter where I went, it would follow. The knock came again, louder this time, urgent. Then the voice, a soft, hollow whisper from the other side of the door. "Let me in." It sounded like me, but it wasn't. I knew that now. The voice was too smooth, too cold, like it had been rehearsed, prepared. I took a deep breath. "We have to end this." Lucas stared at me wide-eyed. "What do you mean, how?" I didn't answer right away. I thought back to everything Jess had said, about mirrors, about reflections. The thing wasn't just trying to become me. It had already become me. It was waiting for me to give in. And if I didn't stop it now, if I let it take over, I'd be the one stuck on the other side of the glass. I looked at Lucas. I have to face it. I have to make it come back into the mirror. "No," Lucas said, grabbing my arm. "That's insane. You'll..." I shook him off. "It's the only way. We're running out of time." I walked toward the door, trying to steady my breath. The knock came again. It was louder, more frantic now, like it was losing patience. I glanced at Lucas. "Stay here. If it comes inside, don't let it out of your sight. Don't trust it. It's not me." He didn't say anything. He just nodded, looking more terrified than I'd ever seen him. I walked to the door. My hand hovered over the doorknob. For a moment, I considered just leaving, running, but I knew it wouldn't matter. The thing would follow me. It would find me. It always does. So I opened the door. It stood there. The figure in the doorway, myself, was not quite the same. It was paler, its eyes hollow, and its smile. It had stretched even wider, like it was about to tear its face apart with glee. It didn't move. It just stood there watching me. "Let me in," it said again. I didn't flinch. I didn't back down. "You're not me," I said, my voice steady despite the fear gnawing at me. "And you never will be." The reflection. No, the thing grinned even wider, its teeth too sharp, its smile too wide. "I'm more you than you are." I swallowed hard. "No, you're nothing. You're just a copy." For a moment, everything was silent. It just stood there, staring at me with those dark, hollow eyes. Then, without warning, it lunged. I slammed the door shut with all my strength, the impact rattling the frame. But it wasn't enough. The thing on the other side of the door was faster than I could react. A hand shot through the crack, its fingers like claws, grabbing the edge of the door. The knuckles cracked, and the thing pulled itself through, faster than any normal person could move. It was inside, and I had no choice but to face it. The moment it stepped inside, I felt the air shift. It felt colder, heavier, like the room had gotten smaller, suffocating. I backed away from it, but it moved closer. "You can't escape," it whispered, its voice wrong, distorted. "You're already mine." No, I couldn't let it win. "Get away from me," I shouted, pushing it back. It staggered, but only for a moment. It grinned. "You can't outrun yourself." I backed into the hallway, my breath ragged, my pulse hammering in my chest. It moved with me, slow and deliberate, like it was savoring every step. It was playing a game. But then I remembered Jess's words, "Don't trust anyone who looks like you." I had to make it come back to the mirror. I ran back toward the hallway, the mirror at the end. The reflection was right behind me, its footsteps matching mine. When I reached the mirror, I grabbed the edge, spinning around. Yet in the mirror, I yelled, "Get back in the mirror." It stopped. For a moment, I thought I'd finally broken it, that it was just a copy after all. But then it grinned, and the grin stretched. The thing lunged. But this time, I wasn't afraid. This time, I reached for it. With one final push, I grabbed its wrist and pulled it into the mirror, fighting against its twisted strength. The world spun, everything spinning out of control, until it all went black. I woke up in my bed. My heart was racing, my breathing shallow. My body was drenched in sweat. I sat up, hands shaking, the feeling of the mirror's cold glass still lingering on my skin. I wasn't sure if it was over. I didn't dare check. But when I passed the hallway mirror, I saw it. It was me, and I was still standing there.